In a typical sexual scenario, the penis plays a fairly central role, and with that role come certain duties. It needs to get hard, it needs to stay hard in order to pleasure the woman well, and it needs to ejaculate, making sure that the climax happens not too soon and not too late either. That is quite a lot of responsibility and pressure placed on the said penis, and by extension on its owner. But are we missing something there? Are we in fact asking too much of the penis? Let's explore that topic in a bit more detail. My name is Helena Nista and I make videos that help you have the best sex of your life. And today we're discussing the penis and the full extent of its responsibility during a sexual intercourse. So first of all, the penis needs to get hard. That is typically a requirement for a successful penetration, for a successful intercourse. And for most men, in most cases, that is not an issue as long as they get the appropriate level of stimulation. So as long as they stroke themselves or their partner touches and stimulates them, bringing arousal, pleasure, and that erection. Or as long as they use fantasy, porn, or sex toys, or any other means of creating that state of turn on and arousal that will then cause the blood to flow into the penis. However, despite the appropriate level of stimulation and attention given to the penis, it might not get hard. This is fairly normal and common, particularly if it only happens to you from time to time. But what should you do or make of this situation if you actually struggle to get hard on a more and more regular basis? Well, the first thing to do is definitely to see your doctor and to rule out any health issues or mechanical issues in your body that could be causing problems with getting hard, problems with getting an erection. And depending on how that goes, the next step would be to educate yourself a bit more in terms of struggles with getting hard, with erectile difficulties, and I do have a range of videos on my channel that will give you some very practical tips and advice if getting hard becomes an issue for you. But assuming that you're still in bed with your partner and you can't quite get hard, your penis is just refusing to cooperate, at that point it is very important to not get hung up on the idea that for a successful intercourse the penetration with a hard penis is required. It is not. And this might be, I realize, a bit of a radical idea to a lot of people. However, you can actually have a very satisfactory sexual intercourse or sexual experience without penis in the vagina penetration. So if your penis is just refusing to cooperate on a particular day or night, maybe give your partner a beautiful, relaxing, erotic, like a very sensual erotic massage. Or you can pleasure each other orally. She can even pleasure you orally even when you don't have an erection, because your penis, even in a flaccid state, is still very sensitive. Or you could just turn this into a session of just sexually loving and worshipping her body in any way that she wants and desires. So here it might be a great idea to actually ask her, honey, what would you like me to do to your body? If this was to be just the most amazing and fantastic sexual experience of your life, where I pleasure you with my hands, with my mouth, with my tongue, maybe with some toys, what would that look like? And then you can follow her guidance and her requests in order to create that beautiful experience for her that I am sure you will enjoy as well, because let's be honest, what's better than seeing our partner in those moments of heights of sexual and orgasmic pleasure? And yes, if one of her requests or wishes is that you penetrate her, you can definitely use your fingers or a dildo to do that. So do not let that situation stop you from taking her to the most blissful, amazing orgasm. So let's now talk about the second scenario where you did get hard and you were able to penetrate her, but you lost that erection at some point during your sexual experience together. Losing an erection is also fairly normal and happens to a lot of different men, and there can be many different causes of that situation. This might indicate that your body is actually tired, or feeling stressed, or feeling pressure around performing during that experience. A lot of men tend to put this enormous pressure on themselves because they suffer anxiety or they worry about performing well in the bedroom. So they are very actively tensing up their body and just kind of trying to force the penis to cooperate and to stay hard for as long as they need it to be, typically until ejaculation. This type of behavior can actually work for a while, for a certain amount of time, but eventually your body will actually put up a bit of a fight against that. And this is because getting an erection is a result of your parasympathetic nervous response, meaning that you need to be relaxed. You need to be in a relaxed state in order for your sexual function to work well and for your penis to get hard comfortably. However, if you are in a state of anxiety or worry or stress about your sexual performance and you're putting all that pressure and tension on your body, you're actually switching your body into the sympathetic nervous response, in which you're making it a lot more difficult and challenging for your sexual function to work well. This is why typically men who struggle with performance anxiety can find it really difficult to escape that cycle of performance anxiety, because it just breeds more tension, more pressure, more worry and stress. So then it's hard for them to get out of that cycle of tension. And it would actually just serve them really well to simply relax, to let go of all that tension, of all that pressure, to not try to effort and force the body to create an erection, but to simply relax, enjoy the pleasure, enjoy the sensations in the body, in your body, and allow the body to do its natural thing and to allow your body to follow its natural wisdom. Yes, your body knows how to create that erection. It knows that very well, and it can create that situation, that blood flow into your penis, as long as you're not getting in its way with all of that pressure and stress. Relax and simply enjoy the experience regardless of how your body reacts and how your penis reacts. Then actually your chances of getting hard again are much higher. And if you're wondering what to do while you're waiting or being relaxed and seeing if your body wishes to create another erection, well, then you still have your hands and your tongue and your mouth and your lips and toys and accessories and anything else that you wish to use with your partner in the bedroom in order to create a beautiful, erotic, sensual experience together without necessarily involving your penis, which is just taking a little break right now. Next issue on the journey of creating a satisfying sexual experience using your hard penis is lasting long enough, or in this case not lasting long enough, which is termed premature ejaculation. PE happens when a man climaxes before he wants to, before he's ready to, and before his partner is ready for that experience as well. So the researchers and the therapists used to quantify premature ejaculation in terms of lasting no longer than maybe 2 minutes. However, these days we're talking much more about not lasting long enough in terms of what you desire and what your partner desires. So if you ejaculate within 2, 3, or maybe even 5 minutes from the moment of entering your partner, but both of you are perfectly satisfied and happy with that experience, you do not have premature ejaculation. If you can go for 20 or 30 minutes, however, you find that at the end, after climaxing, this wasn't quite satisfying for you or for your partner, that ideally you both, or at least one of you, would have wanted to go longer, then yes, we talk about a case of premature ejaculation. PE can be caused by different things like your early masturbatory habits or frequent porn usage, but it is a fairly simple condition to adjust and to remedy. So definitely don't feel doomed or depressed about not being able to last as long as you would ideally want to. Instead, make sure to seek help and educate yourself in practical ways to extend your lasting power. And one of the things that you might find very beneficial and very helpful is my online program for men, Tantric Mastery, which will teach you very powerful yet very simple ways and solutions to lasting as long as you want, anytime and anywhere. I've linked the course in the description bar below if you would like to check it out. There is also a condition called delayed ejaculation, where you struggle to climax at all. during sex. So you're probably hard and you're penetrating your partner and you're feeling the pleasure and the build-up and the arousal and all that erotic energy happening in your body and your penis, yet you can't quite reach that climactic high. You can't quite get over the edge of an orgasm. Here the cause could be, again, things like stress or fatigue, but it could actually go a bit deeper than that in terms of your poor diet or different mental, emotional or physical / health issues. So this situation, the delayed ejaculation, is definitely something worth chatting to your doctor about, just to make sure that it's not an indication of some deeper issues or problems that you really need to address first. And I have made an entire video dealing with delayed ejaculation, so definitely make sure to check it out here if you'd like to learn more about this topic. But whenever that happens to you in the moment and you are in a sexual situation with your partner and you can't quite climax, the best course of action is to focus on what's called sex for pleasure. Just because you don't ejaculate an orgasm at the end of your sexual experience together doesn't mean that the experience is invaluable or invalid or a failure in any way. You don't have to chase that one brief moment of climax in order to still feel and experience a lot of pleasure and blissful erotic energy flowing through your body. So focus on that. Focus on your body and the sensuality of your entire system and on all of that pleasure that you can feel and experience with your partner. And if you are feeling a bit frustrated at the end because maybe you're still hard and you weren't able to reach that climax, simply relax and take some very deep relaxed breaths, which will help the erection to soften and to go away while absorbing all that orgasmic charge back into your system. This can actually be a bit of a revelation for a lot of men who are just so used to releasing in that orgasmic ejaculation at the end of each intercourse. So for them to realize that actually to keep that energy in your body, to relax and sort of to breathe it in and expand and allow it to move and vibrate through your system, that can be an extremely nurturing and satisfying experience in itself. In truth, I honestly think we should start moving away from that notion of an erection-centric sex. Because if your entire sexual experience together centers around the penis and the erection, then, well, for one, you're just gonna be disappointed some of the time because things happen, issues happen, as we've just discussed in this video. But secondly, if you just focus on that one part of your body, on that one erection working well or hopefully working well, you're actually robbing yourself of a world of sensations and different types and layers of pleasure that are just moving and flowing through your system, or can be moving and flowing in a much more powerful and pleasurable way if you put your attention and your energy there. So this is my challenge for you to shift your focus from the erection to a very different goal when it comes to your sexual experiences together. And that goal is connection, bliss, pleasure, intimacy, joy of rubbing your naked bodies against each other. Because with this kind of goals, like, your chance of succeeding is a lot higher, and also you are actually going to get a lot more out of your experience instead of just being focused on your penis. When people talk about their most ecstatic, erotic or satisfying sexual experiences, they don't typically refer to the penis staying hard or performing its job to satisfaction. They much more often talk about the sense of connection and intimacy and just the joyful experience of being together and sharing that beautiful, sensual, erotic moment in time. So make sure to review your goals when you approach your sex life together with your partner. And also remember that the more pressure you put on yourself and on your penis to perform, then the more erection issues you are actually going to experience. And the more you take that pressure away and the more you just relax into having the experience full of connection, pleasure, sensuality, etc., the better your erections will actually be. And if you'd like to learn how to shorten your refractory period so that you can go again with your lady for round 2 a lot sooner, then make sure to watch this video next.